This is 8 News Now, live at 4. Live, local, now.
A shooting leaves one person dead and another injured. Thank you for joining us at 4. I'm Vanessa Murphy.
I'm David Charnes. That suspect is now in custody in Arizona, and we're learning the alleged shooter was once engaged to the woman who died. This shooting reported midday Saturday behind an Avis rent-a-car near Decatur and Sahara. 8 News Now reporter Ryan Matthew with the legacy a close friend says is left behind.
August 3rd, 2024. Gina Martin walked into an Avis parking lot to pick up a rental car. She never walked out. And the man who killed her, he was waiting for her in a white truck, like he'd been planning this the whole time. Girl, let me tell you something. This wasn't random. This was personal. When the clock strikes midnight, the truth comes out. I'm 12 a.m. crime. And every single day I bring you real cases of domestic violence that turn deadly. The stories the system tried to bury. The victims who deserve justice. If you're about that raw, unfiltered truth, hit subscribe. New case drops every day at midnight. Don't sleep on justice. This is 12 a.m. crime. Gina Martin was 36 years old. Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you asked anybody who knew her, they'd tell you the same thing. Ivan Williams, one of her closest friends, put it simple.
If you knew Gina, you loved her.
That's the kind of person she was. She worked in hospitality, which makes sense for Vegas, and she was good at it. Made people feel comfortable, made them smile. She had a son who just graduated high school that summer. A son she was proud of. A son she was building a future for. Gina had been living out in Colorado for a while, but she was thinking about coming back home, back to Vegas, back to be closer to her family, closer to her roots. That's where her head was at, planning the next chapter. But there was someone who couldn't accept that she was moving forward, someone who couldn't accept that she'd moved on from him. Frederick Blanche Jr., 37 years old. He wasn't just an ex-boyfriend, he was her ex-fiancé. They'd been engaged at one point, had a whole future planned out. Or at least that's what it looked like from the outside. But Gina ended it. She broke off the engagement. She walked away from that relationship. And honestly, she had every right to. A woman can change her mind. A woman can decide this isn't what I want anymore. That should have been the end of it. But for Frederick, that was just the beginning. When Gina ended things, Frederick didn't take it well. And that's putting it lightly. He became obsessed, started showing up where she was, started calling, started demanding to know where she was, who she was with, what she was doing. Her friend Ivan Williams saw it firsthand. He said,
It's been like a series of him harassing her. I know that for a fact.
Ivan remembered one time when Gina was with him and Frederick kept calling her phone over and over, trying to figure out her location, trying to keep tabs on her. This wasn't a man who was heartbroken. This was a man who was trying to control someone who didn't belong to him anymore. And when control didn't work, he turned to threats. Gina's family and friends later told police that Frederick had threatened her multiple times. These weren't vague statements or heated arguments that people have when they break up. These were real threats, the kind that made Gina nervous, the kind that made the people around her worried. But what do? You can't arrest someone for phone calls. You can't lock someone up for being obsessive. Not until they actually do something. And Frederick? He was building up to doing something. Gina was still living her life though. Still working. Still being a mother. Still making plans to come back to Vegas permanently. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't running. She was just trying to exist without this man in her life. That's all she wanted. Peace. That Saturday in August, she had a simple errand to run. Her and a male companion needed to pick up a rental car from the Avis location on Sahara Avenue and Decatur Boulevard. Nothing complicated. Walk in, handle the transaction, walk to the back parking lot, get the car, and leave. That's it. They had no idea Frederick was already there, parked in the back lot, waiting in his white truck. Gun loaded, mind made up. Midday, Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. Gina and her companion walked into the Avis rental office near Sahara and Decatur. They handled the paperwork, completed the transaction, got their keys. Everything normal, everything routine. The employee told them their car was parked in the back lot, so they walked around to get it. That back parking lot was just a regular alley behind the business. Nothing fancy. A place where they kept the rental cars. And that's where Frederick was waiting, in his white truck, engine off, just sitting there, watching. The moment Gina and her companion stepped into that alley, Frederick got out of his truck. He didn't say much. He didn't need to. He had a gun in his hand, and he started firing. Multiple shots, one after another. He wasn't aiming at the air. He wasn't trying to scare them. He was trying to kill them. Both of them. Gina got hit. Multiple times. Her companion got hit too. The man managed to run, stumbling, bleeding, but he ran. Back toward the rental office, back inside where there were people, where there was help. He made it. Barely. He collapsed inside, critical condition, but alive. Gina didn't make it. She went down in that alley, behind a rental car office, in the middle of the day, on a Saturday, surrounded by buildings and businesses and people going about their normal lives. And she died right there. 36 years old, one day away from turning 37 on Monday. Frederick got back in his truck and drove off. Left her there. Left the scene like he didn't just take a life. Like he didn't just destroy a family. When police arrived, they found Gina's body in the alley. The male victim had already been rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Detectives started processing the scene, talking to witnesses, trying to piece together what happened. But here's the thing, they didn't need to piece much together. There was a police surveillance camera already positioned in that back parking lot. It had been there the whole time, and it caught everything, the entire shooting. From the moment Gina and her companion walked into that alley, to the moment Frederick fired those shots, to the moment he drove away, every single second was on camera. Let that sit for a minute. This man ambushed his ex-fiancé in broad daylight, shot her and another person multiple times, and the whole thing was recorded. There was no question about what happened, no question about who did it. The camera gave investigators everything they needed. Police identified Frederick Blanche Jr. as the shooter. They knew his relationship to Gina. They knew about the harassment. They knew about the threats. And now they had him on video committing murder. A warrant was issued for his arrest immediately. Murder and attempted murder. But Frederick wasn't in Las Vegas anymore. He'd left town. Ran straight to Arizona. The next day, August 4th, 2024, police in Buckeye, Arizona, got word that Frederick was in their area. Buckeye is a small city on the western edge of the Phoenix metro area. It's about a 5-hour drive from Las Vegas. That's where Frederick thought he could hide. That's where he thought he'd be safe. He was wrong. Local law enforcement in Buckeye arrested him without incident. They held him there while the extradition process started. Within days, Frederick was brought back to Las Vegas to face charges. 2 counts, murder for Gina Martin, attempted murder for the male victim who survived. And just like that, it was over. The chase was done. The man who killed Gina was in custody. But for her family, for her son, for her father, The pain was just beginning.
Police say the two victims just completed a transaction here at this Avis, then entering into the back parking lot to pick up their rental car. This is the general area that police say then a different man exited his truck and began firing. One of those victims dying here on scene and described by friends and family as a light now gone.
I'm thankful that God allowed me to experience you.
Last words Ivan Williams will never get to say to his longtime friend Gina Martin. Monday would have been her 37th birthday.
If you knew Gina, you loved her. There's nobody aside from the suspect who I could say met Gina and didn't love her.
Police say Martin and another male were targets. A white truck was already parked in the back. Inside was a man they knew.
He immediately confronts them on foot
and with a gun, striking both multiple times. The male escapes back inside. Martin is pronounced dead on scene.
This is her ex-fiancé.
Williams describes it as an act of domestic violence.
It's just been like a series of him harassing her. I know that for a fact. He's done it once when she was with me. Like constantly calling her, trying to figure out where she was at.
The Vegas native worked in hospitality and was living in Colorado. Williams said she was considering a move back home to be closer to her family and son that just graduated from high school. When asked if he would be able to recover,
I don't think so, but in her memory, I'll try because I know that's what she would want. She would want me to.
Metro adds the entire shooting was captured on this police camera. It's stationed in the back parking lot already, and it aided in finding that suspect in Arizona. Reporting near Decatur and Sahara, Ryan Matthew, 8 News Now.
Police identifying the shooter as 37-year-old Frederick Lee Blanche Jr. Police say he was arrested in Buckeye, Arizona. That's the westernmost suburb of Phoenix. No booking photo available just yet. Williams is holding a vigil for Martin tonight.
The case against Frederick Blanche Jr. was airtight. Video evidence, witnesses, the surviving victim. There was no defense that could explain away what he did, and Frederick knew it. In December 2025, more than a year after he killed Gina, Frederick pleaded guilty. No trial, no drawn-out legal battle. He admitted to murder. He admitted to attempted murder. And on January 15, 2026, he stood in front of Judge Tiara Jones for sentencing. The courtroom was filled with Gina's family. Her father was there, the man who raised her, the man who had to bury his daughter. He took the stand before the sentencing, and his words were simple, but they cut deep.
It's a terrible thing that happened. It is. My baby. She was my baby.
She only had one son, and now he doesn't have a mother. Frederick also spoke. He looked at the families of his victims and said,
I hope that, this kind of helps. I know we can't bring her back or the damage that's been done to the other person, but I wish I could take it back every day.
Judge Tiara Jones sentenced him to 24 years to life in prison. The plea agreement was complete. The case was closed. But nothing about this brings Gina back. Her son doesn't have a mother anymore. He graduated high school, and his mum was there to see it. And then months later, she was gone, taken by a man who couldn't accept that she didn't want him. That's what this was. Domestic violence. A man who believed that if he couldn't have her, nobody could. Even Williams said he doesn't think he'll ever recover from losing his friend. But he also said he'll try, because that's what Gina would have done. She would have pushed forward. She would have kept going. Gina Martin was 36 years old when she died in that alley on August 3rd, 2024. She was supposed to turn 37 that Monday. She was supposed to move back home to Vegas. She was supposed to keep being a mother to her son. She was supposed to keep living. But Frederick Blanche decided she didn't get to do any of that. And now he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars, while her family spends the rest of theirs without her. That's the reality of domestic violence. It doesn't end with a breakup. It doesn't end with a restraining order. Sometimes it ends in a parking lot, with gunshots, and a life cut short. Gina Martin deserved better. Her son deserved better. And no apology, no prison sentence, no amount of time will ever change that. If this story hit you the way it hit me, go ahead and leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're covering more cases like this. Real stories, real people, real consequences. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, please reach out for help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. They're available 24/7. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe out there. This is 12 AM Crime.